guys, and welcome back for another tutorial. Today is going to be a super simple tutorial. I'm going to show you how to make a sash. Now this sash can be made for a dress, a romper, a shirt. It's super easy, but I felt the need for it since so many people buy sashes, especially around this time because it's wedding season. Now if you're a beginner and you're taking on the task of making your own sash, you want to incorporate your wedding colors into your dresses, your bridesmaids, your flower girls, this is going to be the tutorial for you because I'm going to show you step by step, and this is going to be very beginner friendly, knowing that you may have never sewn in your life and you're pulling out your mom's sewing machine from the closet. I know that out of necessity, that's the way that I started sewing. So I assure you that you will have success. This is very easy and I know that you can do it. So the first thing you're going to do is to see if you can get the fabric. You need to go over to your local Joann's, Fabricland, Hobby Lobby, and see if you can get a beautiful fabric that will match the colors in the event that you are having. So whether it's a wedding or a baby shower, that's the first thing, is can we get a fabric in the color that you desire. The next thing is when you're at the fabric store, ask for help and see what they recommend for whatever dress or garment that you're making it for. And they can recommend you a type of fabric that will work well as a sash. You can get scuba, you can get organza, you can get satin or silk. There are so many different options, and I will leave some of those options in the description box so you can just screenshot that and you can bring that to the store. But keep in mind that not every fabric is going to come in your color, so you need to be a little bit flexible when you're looking for the most perfect color for your event. So now we're going to go over to the cutting table and we're going to figure out exactly how much fabric you need to make one sash. And then you can take that number and you can multiply it by however many sashes you plan to make, and then you'll be ready to go when you want to head out to the fabric store. Okay, so you're going to go to the fabric store and you're going to get about a half a yard of fabric. You might need a little less, it just depends on your sizing. If you're doing it for children, you would need far less, but if you're doing it for an adult, maybe a plus size adult, you might need to cut 2 strips of fabric. So just keep that in mind. So we're gonna do a little bit of math on how wide we want our sash to be. I would like mine to be 3 inches wide. So we're gonna need to double that up, and then we're going to need seam allowances so that when we sew the sash together, it's not going to be less than 3 inches, because as we sew our seam, that's going to take up some of the fabric. So we're going to do about 6 inches for the sash and then 1 inch for the seam allowance, because we're going to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I'm going to cut a strip of fabric measuring 7 inches wide by the length of our fabric. My fabric right now is folded in half, and this one is a 58-inch wide fabric. So depending on your fabric width, that also can change things. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut a 7-inch strip of fabric. Now you can use a ruler and draw it on your fabric. If you have a cutting mat and rotary cutter, you can do that as well. This is a 5-inch ruler, so I need to add 2 inches, just like that, and then we will cut that. Okay, and I'm going to cut 2 strips because I am a plus size woman. Now I sewed this dress myself, so I will have a link for that tutorial if you're interested in sewing your own clothing. But if not, you know, a lot of times people buy a dress at the store and they want a sash because they want it to be the color of their wedding and they maybe can't find the sash color. So then you go to the fabric store to get the color that you want. Okay, so that is garbage, and now I have 2 strips of fabric. Now, mine don't really have a right or wrong side. So what that means is that the right side would be the pretty side of the fabric and the wrong side would be the not so pretty. So let's say we're looking at this type of fabric. This has the pretty side, which has the stripes, and on the back it's clearly the wrong side. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make these 2 strips of fabric into one long strip of fabric, and I am going to lay them in this way. Okay, and if these had right sides or wrong sides, these would be right sides together. So the pretty side would be in here. We're going to overlap the fabric, so a little bit's going to be hanging off both sides, and we're going to get a couple pins just to hold these layers together. Now if you're a beginner sewist, you might think, well, why can't I just place the fabric like this and then just do a straight line? The thing about doing it that way is it will create a more bulkier transition between the 2 pieces of fabric. So by doing it the way that I'm doing it, it's a more of a smoother transition, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So now I'm going to take my ruler and my chalk, and I'm going to, from corner to corner, I'm going to draw a line. And by doing that, we are going to create our guideline for where we're going to sew. So it's important to have this fabric overhanging. So just keep that in mind. I'm just going to move my pins and I'm going to show you why. When you sew that portion, then when you fold it out and you press it, it's going to match up beautifully. And that'll be a much smoother transition instead of having it with the 2 blunt ends together. So we're going to go ahead and sew that line. And then we're going to cut off all of that excess fabric, about a ½ inch away from that line of stitching. Just like that. So now when we fold it out, you can see how beautiful it's going to look. Now we're going to go get the iron. We're going to press the seam and we're going to press it open. Now again, the reason why we're doing that is because it will create less bulk in our sash. So that means just opening up that seam here so that half the fabric's on one side and half is on the other. And I'm just going to put a piece of wood on top of it just to allow it to cool down and really press nicely. So from here, we are now going to be folding our sash with the right sides together in half lengthways. So this is the pretty side, so we're folding it like this. And we can get our clips and we're just going to go all the way down our sash. Now from here, once you have everything clipped, if you want to measure it around your waist to give it a little test, If it is too long, this is when you can cut it off, cut some off. I recommend cutting it off of both ends so that that seam will land in the middle and on your back. So this seam, so if you have to cut off, let's say 20 inches, I would do 10 inches from this side and then 10 inches from the other side. If you're making this sash for someone, you can ask the waist circumference of the person and then measure how far down their back or their leg do you want that sash to lay, and then double up that number and then add it to the waist circumference. Okay, so that is our sash. And now at the end, you get to decide what you want to do with your ends. Do you want there to be a point to it? Do you want there to have a blunt end? That is totally up to you, how you want your sash to look. If it's a bow, you're probably going to want to do a point. So what I'm going to do is I am going to essentially take a chalk or take your rotary cutter and cut the type of point you want. Now if you want something smoother, let's say you want just a gradual, you can kind of draw it on. If you want something more like, boom, I want this. You know, you really, it's up to you how you want this to end. I think I want it to just end like that. Now, if you have any of this little selvage piece, that's the part that's from the factory. We don't want that on our sash at all, so make sure when you're chopping this that you're getting rid of that fabric there. Okay, so now we're going to sew this whole sash, but we're going to leave a little hole right around the center. So probably about 3 inches. We're going to sew all the way up, and then we're going to lock our stitches. Then we're going to stop sewing and then continue on locking our stitches and continue all the way down the other side of the sash. Okay, so we're doing that 1/2 inch seam allowance that we talked about earlier. Starting at the corner. When we get to the first angle, you're just going to make sure that it's 1/2 inch. You're not going to go all the way because you're going to pick up your foot and you're going to pivot it so that now we are 1/2 inch away from this edge. Okay, we're going to stop, back stitch, cut, and then we're going to move up about 3 inches and then keep going. Now those little tails there from the connecting thing, if you have these, we're just going to go ahead and snip that off. Okay, our sash is now sewn entirely. We're going to take our scissors and we're going to go to those little corners. If you have a point, we're just going to cut off the excess, and that's just going to help to create that point. And we'll just do a little bit on that corner too. If not, it won't come to a nice point when you go to flip it. So we are flipping it right sides out. And so if you do have a double-sided fabric, or sorry, a one-sided fabric, then you'll be able to see how beautiful it is. So you're just gonna reach in to that hole that we made, and we're just gonna start pulling the fabric. And again, you wanna have your ironing board set up to be able to iron your sash beautifully. But we are just about done. So easy, so quick, and so much cheaper than getting a high expensive wedding store or, you know, dress shop, dress boutique to make them for you. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this really quick because it'll take some time because the sash is so long. It won't take as long if you're making a shorter one. Alright, so I've flipped it right sides out. I poked out the corners a bit so that I can get a nice sharp corner of our sash. And now we're going to iron and press. If you're using a knit, then you want to apply steam. Steam will press knits better than hot irons. So go get the water and fill up your iron if you're running on empty. And we're just going to go all the way down, keeping our seam at the one end. Now we're going back to the hole that we left. Now if you want to just test out your sash, make sure it's the right size. You can leave this open and sew it up later, because if that's the case, then you can flip it right sides out and then chop some off. You can also just leave it. It's a little hole. You're probably not going to notice it once it's around your body. You can do a top stitch with the sewing machine with the matching thread. You can sew it by hand. Whatever is easiest for you. But that is pretty much it. You're done. Now you can try it on with your dress, and it's going to be so cute. Okay, so now we have our sash and we can put it on our garment. I'm going to show you a dress here. This is the dress that I made. That is what this sash is for. I just thought it needed a little something extra. So as you can see, I made this beautiful gala dress from Patterns for Pirates. I'll have a link in the description box below. If you're interested in getting into garment making, it was a beautiful dress and I'm excited to finally wear it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you had success. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to leave them in the comment section, or you can contact me over on my other social medias like TikTok and Instagram. So all those links are of course down in the description box. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next tutorial. Bye guys.